All right. We're almost done, kind of, sort of. And I want to move into another super important part of this presentation. And now we're going to get to the resistance to why this hasn't already taken place. What are the difficulties of elevating mental wellness skills equal to algebra and essay writing? Okay. So the difficulties are obviously it takes some time away from academic curriculum, but all I'm asking, proposing, encouraging is 10 to 15 minutes per day, but every day. All right. And then what are the other difficulties? I guess teacher training, but learning mental wellness skills benefit everyone. Emotional intelligence benefits everyone, right? I mean, we can go through this together. An interesting thing that's been going on for a few years at Yale University, Professor Laurie Santos has the most um, popular class at Yale, and it's Psych 157, Psychology and the Good Life. Okay? And as she says, college students are much more overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, depressed, and I don't think it's just in colleges, right? We have not taught our kids pre-K through grade 12, nor our parents, nor our teachers, the skills of self-care and mental health. Mental fitness is what LeBron calls it. I mean, we have LeBron James who, man, and we have all-pro Russell Wilson who uses a mental fitness coach, Trevor Moawad. Come on, this stuff is successful people do this. Why not all of our kids? 57 million. All right. So let's get into how we can make this happen. Simon Sinek talks a lot about business and organizations. Well, education is one of the biggest organizations in the country. How do we turn the ship around from grades, test scores, what college you get into, how much money are you going to make, so on and so forth, to when you leave school each year, what mental wellness skills, what emotional intelligence skills did you learn? Okay, that's how we're going to get down. Takes a little bit, but this is really interesting. It's called existential flexibility. Talks about a just cause and a trusted team. That's how we're going to get down on this part.
The existential
flexibility.
This one maybe has the headiest title. What is it, and how do we watch out for it?
Existential flexibility is the willingness to make profound strategic shifts in order to advance your cause, 180 degrees, right? This is not the daily flexibility that you need in business. A leader, or even us as individuals, may never have to perform an existential flex, and at most you might ever have to do it in an entire career once, or never. But the responsibility of any leader is to prepare their organization for an existential flex should it need to happen. So what is an existential flex? So the best case is really Steve Jobs and his just cause. Jobs and Wozniak had a very clear just cause, which is to empower individuals to stand up to Big Brother, right? They're revolutionaries at heart. And they saw the personal computer as a brilliant tool to help them advance that, to empower individuals to stand up to Big Brother. And Steve Wozniak imagined a time in which an individual could compete in business against a corporation thanks to a personal computer. Prescient, right? Apple's already had success from the Apple I, the Apple II. It's already a big company. Steve Jobs is already a famous CEO. And in December of 1979, Jobs and a bunch of his senior executives go and visit Xerox PARC, which was Xerox's R&D division. And Xerox shows them a new invention of theirs called the graphic user interface, that allows a user to click a mouse on a desktop to move icons and folders to use the computer instead of having to learn an entire computer language. Now, Jobs, who believes in empowering individuals, sees this technology and says to his team, we have to invest in this graphic user interface thing. And the voice of reason, I guess, in the team says, Steve, we can't. We can't do it. We've already invested millions of dollars and countless man hours in a different strategic direction. If we suddenly change directions, we're going to blow up our own company. To which Jobs actually said, better we should blow it up than someone else. And that decision led to the Macintosh, the first properly graphic user interface computer that had in mass market appeal, that was so profound that the entire platform of Windows 2.0, was basically designed to act like a Macintosh. And the reason we all have computers on our desks today, the reason it's a household appliance, the reason any one of us can compete against a corporation, is because of this profound shift. He was willing to do that. Now, I call it a capacity for existential flexibility because it's not shiny object syndrome, which too many entrepreneurs are subjected to. This is it, guys. Flavor of the moment.
Teachers too.
It's done with the very specific reason of advancing the cause. I found a better way to advance the cause. And you have to have the just cause, otherwise how do you know what to shift? And you have to have the trusting teams because you will put the organization through short-term hell. And the numbers probably will go down in the short term. And the team has to be willing to say, we agree, we understand why you're making the shift, let's do this. And it's going to suck, but we're in. And they hunker down and they figure it out. If you don't have a just cause, you're literally just chasing something. And if you don't have the trusting teams, this happens a lot where sometimes the leader has the just cause, but the team doesn't know it. And if you don't have the trusting teams, then people will think you've lost your mind and they'll start abandoning ship. Or you respond to the pressures from Wall Street or outside because the numbers start to go down. But existential flexibility, like I said, if you don't have to do it, you have to prepare the organization for your successor to be able to do it, which means keep the cause alive and maintain the trusting teams.
Yeah, a lot of this points back at courage. What are your thoughts around courage? How do people get the courage to play the long game? It's
not the long game; it's the infinite game. Because a long game could be 5 years, right?
True.
Yeah, this is forever.
How do people build that?
Everything that we're talking about in the infinite game is really, 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 really hard. It is so much easier to build a company based on short-term ambitions than it is an infinite cause. It just is.
So there you go. It's easier to just keep doing the grades and letting the 33% that are disconnected just stay disconnected and have some interventions and stuff. The hard part is all of us working together daily and lifting each other up and gaining the skills. These are a lot of what we're going to hear, what we do here in terms of why we can't do this. Do we have a just cause? Well, yeah, we want our students to do better. We want our teachers to feel better, okay? We want our parents to do better and feel better. That's a just cause, all right? Are you building a trusted team? When you're doing this, when you're going to elevate mental wellness skills equal to algebra and essay writing, we have to anticipate ambivalence, worse, resistance, and we have to build that trusted team. Unfortunately, change is hard. Change is difficult. And many people prefer being comfortably miserable to actual change. Going over to the bottom left, are you able to explain the science and the research? It is important to back up all this stuff with the research and the science of how our brain works, how our thinking works. And lastly, look, the real is our teachers are tired of shiny objects. A teacher, the other day we were going through something. We had a crisis on campus and I was helping teachers through it. And the teacher showed me, this is from 10 years ago up on the wall. This is what they wanted us to do. This is from 7 years ago. This is from 4 years ago. This is from 2 years ago. And they're tired. And now we're going to throw social emotional learning at them without any real training that benefits them. So our staff has to be healthy first. We want our staff to not buy into this to give to the students. We want them to buy into it for their own life. When I become really involved in this stuff on the daily, I want to share it. And when I want to share it, I want to give it to my students. You get what I'm saying? And that's why we want our staff to be healthy first. And this is not a force it down your throat. This is an encouragement. This is what's going to help you and your family for the rest of their lives. You get what I'm saying? There's so much room for tweaking on your own. There's so much room for individual, how you want to put your flavor on it. That's dope. But we gotta, like, for real, be cool with the fundamentals first. Okay? Elevate mental wellness skills equal to algebra and essay writing. I'm not gonna give up. I've been doing this 35 years. For the last 5 years especially, I've been going deep into neuroscience, deep into that. I don't have no degree. I'm not a science person, but I know how the brain works due to experts teaching me daily, daily, daily. All right? So I want to give you an example of an elementary school lesson. Super easy. I'm going to actually go to the PDF. All right? So watch. So it's an ebook. You can shine it off of your screen. Super easy. I'm not selling nothing. I'm just giving, like, whatever. You make your own. All right. But this is chapter 3 for elementary school students. I wrote it for like third, fourth, and fifth. But then one day I did it with the first grade, and they loved it. I started as an elementary school teacher. I went to college for as an elementary school teacher, hopeful, and it's dope. All right. Here we are at the PDF, and watch. All you got to do is just click on the little YouTube link while you're talking or after you do the first part, and up comes the YouTube video, and you show it, okay? All right. And after you show it, well, let's play a little bit.
Okay, guys, now I just came from the park, and it's this kid teasing me because I have feelers on. Now, mind you, I am not a material person. I just wear feelers.
So he keeps going on and on, or I mean, it's a minute and a half, and he talks about we need to treat each other better and stop teasing, and then you go down to the 3 questions, and you have a classroom discussion with little students, and you can make it, like super dope, however you want to tweak it. So this is just an example. Look, the research shows our kids are on YouTube all the time, all right? And so all we're doing is meeting them where they're at. And so what do? That's what we do. We meet them where they're at, but we beat them at their game because we're going to use it as a way to really get their hearts engaged, motivated, and then we have discussions with each other. All right. So it's a dope little thing. You guys can use it or not. It's in the classroom, but this is how we get our younger students doing the same stuff as the older students. All right. And then lastly, what's your why? Why do we do this? What do you do this for? Why are you an educator? Why, if you're a student watching this, why do you want to do well in life? Okay. And this is a video I've shown hundreds of times, and it shows the difference between doing something because you feel like an obligation or because you're told to do it or you feel like you have to, all right, versus doing it because you understand why you want to do your best, okay? So here we go.
How do I know? And a lot of times when people hear the phrase, how do I know? The next thing they say is what? How do I know what? But the key really isn't to know what. The key is to know why. Because when you know your why, you have options on what your what can be. For instance, my why is to inspire people to walk in purpose. My what is stand-up comedy. My what is writing books. My what can be going out with some friends to eat. In fact, another what that has moved me towards my why is a web series that we have out now called Break Time. So every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, you should subscribe to the channel. We do a series called Break Time on YouTube. So 3 o'clock, we drop a new episode. One episode in particular, I'm about to show you a clip to. We were in Winston-Salem. So Break Time, this is how it works. I travel the country. I do stand-up comedy, probably an hour and a half at an event. And in the middle of my show, I'll just sit down and start talking to the audience. And funny just happens. or I'll meet somebody who's really interesting. So I met this one guy, and he said that he teaches music at a school. I was like, all right, you teach music, can you sing? And then I'm just going to show you the clip. Check it. So you're a musical director.
Yes,
Cool.
sir.
All right, so let me get a couple bars of like Amazing Grace. Can you do the first part of that? Go ahead. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Wow. That bro could sing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now, once you give me the version, is if your uncle just got out of jail. I'm just saying, let me see the hood version real quick. If you know which version I'm talking about, just see if that exists. Let me see what you got. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Right now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. So here's the thing. The first time I asked him to sing, he knew what he was doing. The second time I asked him to sing, he knew why he was doing it. When you know your why, your what has more impact because you're walking in or towards your purpose. And here's the 3 questions. I mean, first of all, that video, it gets students all the time. They love it. They get it. It's hilarious. I don't know. I just think it's a good way to explain how energy is really a big, important part of life. And the whole room changed the second time he did it. Even in our teaching, when our energy is off for whatever reason, it affects the whole classroom. If we can keep our energy up, that's a big deal. So here's the 3 classroom discussion or quick write or journaling questions that go with that video. And once again, on the YouTube channel, super easy to find it. And these are in the video description area where you click to show more. There you go. We can quantify emotional intelligence. Almost done. All right. This is what I had every student at 100 students who had to pass these 2, 4, 6, 10 items for their final of the first of the fall semester. And they all did them. And this last one, the Mind movie, super powerful. All of it's super powerful. Wrote a 2-paragraph summary of accurate thinking. Accurate thinking is the most important skill we can teach our students. How to navigate their negative and limited thinking. That's how you create a growth mindset. The skill of accurate thinking, not just telling someone don't give up. That doesn't work. It just doesn't. We have to build the skills. We have to build the daily habits of why I don't want to give up. Exercise is another important. Okay? Drinking water, super important. All this stuff. Why? Because the real is artificial intelligence is coming. It's here. Our young people, our students are going to have to navigate a way more different landscape than we ever had to. And actually, we are too. I mean, I'm almost 60. I'm 59 in a minute. Okay? And if I want to keep up, I have to create a better emotional intelligence, better mental balance.
right? Better flexibility in making changes. Those are super critical, and we're not teaching our students that stuff. And then this is what's on their mind: nuclear war, climate disruption, the artificial intelligence, the technology disruption, and a lot how we treat each other, race, gender, all that stuff. Okay? Why are our kids stressed out? Because of that stuff. In addition to my parents having to work so hard, and I don't get to see them that much. Right? I hope I've given you the evidence. I hope I've given you some of the skills that we can teach. Like there's a bunch of classroom lessons that you can use. I got you. My email's at the back at the beginning. We cannot give up. I showed you that as one of the lessons. Our goal is for all of our students to be happy and learn the skills that are going to keep them moving forward in life. Okay? That they love to learn, that they like to gain knowledge. Okay? We cannot give up when things get rough. This is exactly the time to pull together, to work together. Working together is greater than being divided. Thank you for watching this, and hit me up. I got you. Anything you need. All right. Take care. Bye.